So for Pisces, the month of April 2025. Okay. The past, the present, and the future. Okay. So we have the 5 from the Creative Master deck, we have 0 from the Loving Master deck, and we have 9 from the Loving Master deck. So Digital Nomad is about past communications potentially. It can also be responding to the need for movement or the need for new data, with number 5 being about freedom and movement. The Higher Road is a 0 card, so in numerology doesn't really mean much because it adds to the number preceding it or after it, before it. But in my deck, the 0 is actually a catalyst card, I guess. It would be like a 10 in normal tarot, and with the Higher Ground you see that we've got these men or people moving around the action of proceeding, summiting, and then sort of the fallout or what happens in the residual aftermath. And the conclusion card or the future card, we've got the Hermitess, which is linked to Virgo, and the Hermit is about self-reflection and moving through different cycles, moving on your way up to the hilltop cliff face, guided by the moon and guided by your own individual light, to reflect on, gain solidarity, and I suppose to improve before moving forward. And being a 9 card, there's a nice sort of level of resolution there, completion, but it's also, because it's from the Creative Master, there's also a sense of love or spiritual insight. Okay, so with the numerological spread, we take the bottom card for each to give us a root of the issue, and we take the second card underneath the first card to give us some insight into how you're feeling and thinking. Okay, so let's get to the root of it all. Okay, so there is a level of feeling out in the cold, a feeling of doing it on your own, and potentially being excluded or excluding. But if we look at it in relation to its color, which is the Visionary Master, about sort of inspiration and knowledge, and then if we look towards the number 7, we're thinking about analytical mystery. So perhaps the root of this previous need for, I'm getting the word need for flight, need for change, movement, comes from the feeling of being left out in the cold, or loneliness, or being excluded. Okay, so to further explain the Higher Road, we've got the Tower. The Tower is, like in traditional tarot, is a combustive moment that sort of, throws everything up in the air, and we have to sort of see where things land. People see it as sort of worrisome, but I always see the Tower card as, the catalyst of change. So the need to move to higher ground, or the need to sort of go through the cycles, came about due to a catalyst. And we've got the Visionary Master or Psychic Masters numbers represented here twice in the bottom row, and we do have 2 zeros, so a massive amount of change, moving forward, making important moral decisions, sort of not making decisions just based on need or greed, but making decisions based on what is the right way to take the higher ground. So it's quite interesting that you've got this is where you are at the moment, sort of on the precipice, perhaps, of change, but we're not really sure what that is just yet. Okay, and explaining, oh wow, the numbers are good today. Explaining the Hermitress, oh my goodness, can't say it today, is Lionsgate 8. So definitely that's sort of spiritual connection, and it's about business and authority. And if you kind of look at the astrology for the month of April for Pisces, there's definitely an element of Saturn's influence on your business and your career. So perhaps that's what's happening here. But this is much more self-reflective. Even the cards, the way I made these two cards are quite similar with these sort of tendrils of hand-dyed paper. So I would say that there's some deep reflection happening in the future for you, and it's going to be based on this sort of big catalyst of change. Now, how you think about all of this is, well, okay. So in the past, you felt quite oppressed. You felt that there was a need to move. You were feeling restricted, and you felt perhaps left out in the cold or undervalued, or that'll come to me. But yeah, there's definitely something about the past, about having feeling of oppression, feeling of being left out, and feeling like you have to go and do it on your own, and make some choices. Here we have the Day in the Sun, which is a great card to get. We're sort of starting to see the creative master suit in this. We've got the emotional connection here, but moving on currently, we've got some nice yellows sort of in this top corner. I would suggest that even though there's big catalyst to change, it's quite optimistic for you. A Day in the Sun is about celebration. 3s are great numbers, about communication, joy, enthusiasm. So I would suggest that the way that you're thinking about this change that happened, and the sort of massive sort of big poignant moments of change, are actually quite a good thing. You think that's a good thing. Okay, so looking to your future and your outlook, we've definitely got a period of self-reflection, but it's also very constructive and creative. It's very connected to your psyche and your way of thinking, and if you don't think of yourself as a spiritual person, perhaps just your way of walking the earth is a spiritual act. Okay, and the last card for here, wow, all right, great. So the way you're thinking about all of this scenario is that you're quite strong. You've got 2 lions here. There's a lot of power and energy. So in your head, after this sort of traumatic, oppressive kind of thing, where you felt hard done by, and number 5 meant that, you know, your movements and your freedom were heavily restricted. And this is about movement and freedom, and it was all due to being left out in the cold, left on your own. There's a level of feeling of abuse here. So currently you're sort of seeing that you're in the throes of the higher ground. You made choices and you're moving forward. It's cyclic. There have been explosive moments, but maybe more because it's the maybe more in your mind that they're being explosive, but you're feeling quite comfortable. You're feeling really quite okay. You're feeling very strong. You're able to celebrate yourself. And I think this celebration is leading to a deeper understanding of your own inner connections and spirituality. All right, we're hitting the 10-minute mark. So just 3 qualifying cards from the Rider-Waite deck. Let's see what is coming up for you. So perhaps this bully card that we pulled out earlier is heavily linked. This sort of feeling, I get this sort of feeling here and here, like this sort of level of out of controlness. You knew something was up. This is the psychic master or visionary master deck or suit. So you kind of knew, you had your suspicions that you were being scuppered. But it's okay. That catapulted you into really looking after yourself and feeling great. And you're now going to be really self-reliant. So for the month of April, the outlook is good. There is a period of self-reflection and deeper understanding of yourself. But yeah, April will feel a little explosive. And if we look at this as being March was kind of like a time where you were going it alone a lot of the time. Yeah, okay, let's pull those cards. We're now at 11 minutes. Clarifying cards for Pisces for April. All right, here we go. Okay. In the past, you've had a few opportunities and you had to make some choices. And 5, 6, 7. So it's, yeah, the mystery sort of is coming up in this. We've got the 7s again. We've got 2 5s. So we've definitely got this thing where freedom was restricted. And you felt it was out of your control. It was mysterious in what was happening, but there was definitely a level of being let down. And then currently through the month, you're going to feel that there's some more explosive moments, but you will get some clarity once you turn the wheel. Once you have the fallout, there will be definitely clarity. You know, she can see above the clouds. She's looking forward. You'll gain some clarity there. And for your outcome card, definitely moving on your own, making your own decisions. So this could be about anything. I'm getting a feeling of business here, and that kind of corresponds with some of your astrology for this month of April. But you know, you can leave things behind and move on because you're quite self-reliant, you have strength, and you're actually more connected to the universe than you think. And once again, another 8 card. So we're, oh my gosh, 8, 8, 8. Okay, so the outcome, there's going to be achievement in business, a sense of abundance, but it comes from knowing your own self-worth. All right, have a beautiful week. Have a beautiful month.